And I'm back. I've got hairy armpits. Must wax. Come true, things really do come true. Morning everyone. So I've just finished my run, or walk, and just got home, had a shower. I'm chilling out. In about a few minutes I'm just going to be having a call with Ashley. She's going to be the new recruit for our event management, and she's going to be helping me like manage big events for the GGC. So I cannot wait to get started with that. And yeah, so I'm just going to have a quick call with her and we can start on talking about how to start traveling, or how to, you know, kind of boost your traveling, or how to, anything, just travel. We'll just talk, we'll just chat. So okay, shit. I've got a headache. Whew. Shot in the headache. Should have done this last night. Two minutes. I should have wrote this last night. Why didn't I fucking organise? We're ready. How do I do this? Hi. So nice to meet you too, doll. Hi guys. So I just finished the call with Ashley. We are so excited. Yes, bitch. Yes. Okay. So there is like, I just finished a call with Ashley, and she is now my girls trip event manager. She's gonna be helping me like manage larger events with the GC. Like events. Oh, I'm so rugged. Yeah, she's gonna be helping me manage large events with the GGC. So like events with when we are going to different countries for about 5 to 7 nights and stuff. She will be helping me with that. And we're just starting our planning now. And there's going to be a girls trip for next year. And yeah, so enough about that. And last night we created, do you want to have a look? Looks like shit. But we've got like, what do you call it? Curry. It's a curry, and we manage just, oh my god, you see my fridge, how terrible. Generally I've actually started to eat like a real German breakfast, which is just bread and some spreads and stuff, which I really, really like. And I've really, really been loving that bread spreads, like Nutella, peanut butter, salad, what else? Kind of hummus. You can have hummus as well. But just today because just today because I'm running like a bit low of time. We've got a lot of leftovers with our curry that we created yesterday, which has no meat in it. Go me. Ooh. But it has, not that I'm like trying to not eat meat, but I'm trying to reduce it. I'm trying to be a little bit more conscious of what I'm purchasing and what I'm eating. And one word that Kristen, my girl from the GDC, she mentioned is that she's flexitarian or lives a flexitarian lifestyle, and that it's just like real flexible, and I love the idea of that. But this is another topic, let's not talk about this. But yeah, so I'm just waiting for my food to get ready, and then we're gonna sit down, have something to eat, and then we're gonna talk. Look at my cold kitchen. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Yesterday I did some videos on my stories, and I put some questions there about like traveling, because I know like I get a few messages from some friends that ask like how to travel, and like ask like what do I do, and do I work, and what do I do here, and how did I get here, and things like that. How do I go about getting a visa? Like, I helped a few friends with like their visa questions and things like that. But what I'm saying is I really want to I'm really interested in helping out a lot of people for travel, whether they've never traveled like so far before, whether they want to backpacker travel, whether they want to do vacations, or whether they want to do travel like working and travel, which is with travel visas and things like that. I want to be able to help a lot of people out. Yeah, I did some questions from my stories yesterday, and I got a lot of responses, which I'm really happy about. And I just kind of want to like clear a few things up. Like, I know that we did a video just the other day about New Zealanders in Europe, but I kind of want to like put it more into detail, and then kind of like help you out with how you can go about it, and which kind of like way that you would like to travel. And yeah, because there's different ways of traveling. There's different ways of experiencing things. There's different ways of having your lifestyle, your travel lifestyle, and things like that. So we have to kind of like clear that up. I want to also share like my experiences and how I kind of started to travel, and what I kind of did and how I went about it. I hope that it can help a few people just for this video. Yeah. I grew up on the coast, so I'm a coasty girl. I'm a real Hori, and and I grew up in Marahako Bay. First, I was born in Gisborne. We lived there when I was little with my uncle and auntie, and then we moved up the coast. And I was up the coast for like a few years, and I started going to school there, and I had all my cousins and like all my cuzzy bros, like real hardcore cuzzy bros. And yeah, I used to be a little coasty girl, and I used to go to Te Whanaapanui, and then I also used to go to Lokokore, and yeah, we lived up there. Marahako Bay, beautiful place, Google it. And all our family is there. It's like a community, like all our family is there, and it's beautiful. And then I think we were there for a few years. I can't remember which age, maybe like 10, 11, we moved back to Gisborne. Because it was hard for my mum to like get a job there, it's the coast, like you don't really get a job unless you're a teacher or something. So yeah, things like that. And then my mum moved back to Gisborne. I think we moved back in with my auntie and my uncle again. And we used to live like down at Emily Street, and then I used to go to Riverdale school, and then I went to Te Hapara school, and no, wait, I'm confused. Who cares? Yeah, and then so I lived in Gisborne for a few years. This can be another story. Went for Gisborne for a few years, and then went back to the coast, and then came back down from the coast, and then I spent like my intermediate. I went to Ilminster Intermediate, and then I went to Gisborne Girls High School, and then I moved to Napier. Yeah, so I've been traveling like since I was younger, and I never really saw it as traveling because it's your home country and you just, but I've been traveling like for ages. I think throughout my high school, my mum and my auntie used to always go back and forth up the coast, so we would literally like travel 3 hours every single weekend, or nearly every single weekend, to go up the coast and come back. And then I would also travel to Napier to my nan's because my dad's side, they were living in Napier at that time, and so I would travel back and forth to see my nan. So I would travel everywhere. And then by the time like I got into my drinking years, 14, 15 or so, I was traveling like Auckland, Wellington, Taupo, and I would just travel and travel and travel. Not sure how I funded that, but it did happen, and I'm not sure. I think like bus tickets were like $20 or something. Like you could buy what's that coach line again? There's a coach line, coach something. You can just take the coach to Napier, which is $20 or something. And yeah, and then so I started traveling really, really young. Unfortunately, I never really went to the South Island, which I'm coming back to do. So I'm coming back to New Zealand to do the South Island. Not sure when, but it's going to happen. And I've been traveling all my life. I don't remember it being very difficult. I think when you're in New Zealand, you know a lot of people. I think Kiwis just in general, they always know mutual friends here, people there. So I think you can always go to like a friend's house and stay with them for a few days or something, or go to a family member's house and stay with them, a few friends or something. So it was pretty easy. It was pretty chilled and pretty easy back then. And I never had a lot of money. My parents never had a lot of money. I thought my nan was made of money, but she wasn't. So I would just go like with the little amounts of money that I had, and I would just get that first like experience. And I've kind of seen that in myself, that I didn't only just leave that in New Zealand, I bring that with me. And so I've been from New Zealand, then I went to Australia, then Bali, and then we've eventually reached Europe. So we'll get into detail of that. So how I started traveling was that I always, from high school, went to, I think when I was 16 I dropped out and I went to EIT in Napier. This was when I moved to Napier. I think I was 16, 17, yeah. I dropped out of high school when I was 16, went to EIT in Napier. And I was just over school. I just didn't want to do that. I knew what I wanted to do, and that was to create businesses and create, something for myself and be my own boss. And I loved fashion, so I went straight in to like study fashion apparel. And everyone kind of says like that I've just got this hard head, like I have ideas and I have things and I just like execute it and I do what I really want to do. And in those kind of moments, it does cause a little bit of stress, like for my family, because they're like, Rusha, what are you doing? Like, you're so young, like stay in school, do this, like what the hell. But I had my own kind of like mind made up, and I wanted to do this, and I thought, this is my life, why can I not do it? So I did that, and I went to EIT and I studied for 2 years, and I studied fashion apparel. We learned everything, and it was really, really cool. I thought it was really, really nice, but I did get sick of it because I only actually wanted to learn the business side of it. Then I also wanted to learn the industry, and then I also wanted to get out. So I'm that kind of person. I'm a person where, like, if I've learned what I've got, then that's it. I'm there, and I'm going out, and I'm going to start my thing. And that's just like kind of who I am. When I graduated from EIT, I went to, my nan bought me a ticket to Australia. Like, it was kind of like, yeah, fuck you, see you later, bye. I was kind of like, okay. And she bought me a ticket to go to Australia. And I went to Australia, and I think I had about like 1,000. I think that ticket like cost about $100 and something or something to go to Brisbane, because I was flying to Brisbane, and I had a friend there that I was moving in with. And yeah, and I think I had like just $1,000 or something. I wasn't too sure what I was going to do, but I just thought, like, I'm going to go over. I'm going to like have a few weekends where like I just chill out, kind of find my bearings, kind of get used to, get used to like the jet lag and stuff, and see how it goes. And I kind of knew that this wasn't going to be easy, because a lot of friends were like, it's not like as easy as you think to just go over there and get a job. But then again, I was really a positive person, and I was really like, nah, I'm gonna nail this. Like, I can do anything, I'm just gonna go for anything. Yeah, so I went over, I think, and then I chilled for a bit, and my money started to run low. And then I think I started to look for a job after a month, and I think within two weeks or 3 weeks or something within looking, I'm sure it was 2 weeks within looking, I got a job. It was to travel around Australia, and it was to go door to door for charity. And so like I thought, like, I really wanted to travel. I love traveling, and I just thought that's the best job, like all your accommodation is paid for. I've never had something like this. I kind of didn't really want to go door to door, because I thought, oh my god, like, what is this? For the first day, like, I just took it and I ran with it. There's another story to this as well, but let's just go with the shorter version. And anyway, like, I think first few weeks I was in the city, and we're working in the city, and I made like a first sale, and then I started to get good, and I would make like one sale like every day. And then I think after like a week or so, or 2 weeks, they sent me on road trip. And apparently road trip is this thing where you like travel all around Australia in the outback, and you're going door to door with like fundraising, and you're literally like just going to every single town, place every single week. And people were like, you're making so much money, you're doing a great thing, like, it's absolutely amazing, like, you need to do it. And like, so I got offered to go on to road trip, and yeah, so I took it, and I went on to road trip, and I was so broke. Like, I was the brokest of the team. I had no money left. That was my last hope, and I just thought, like, I have to make this work. And so I think a few days into it, I got a few tips from friends, and I think just within a week of being on that road trip, like, smash, like, that was it. Tables were turned. I was like having the best time of my life. Like, we were traveling, we were drinking every single day. We were eating whatever we want. We were shopping everywhere we went. I was making a lot of money. It's just unfortunate that I didn't have like a savvy brain at that time, because I think I could have saved like thousands, probably tens of thousands of dollars. But I didn't really have a savvy brain. I was 18, like, let me live. And I just kind of did that for a bit, and I got like all this experience of like being really out there, being really confident, being really staunch. Like, I could talk to anyone. Like, these were people in Australia that were amazing. They were so nice to you. They were helping you. Like, they would give you water. They would invite you for a dinner, like, even though you weren't allowed to take it. Back then it was a little bit different, and they would just do a lot for you. Like, these people were amazing. And so, like, through that, that's when I first kind of started traveling. and when I first kind of like realized like this is what I love, like traveling is actually my life, like this is just me. And like at that time I did think like I do kind of want to settle down and want to have a place, but I thought 18 years old, like come on, I want to go all for it. So I always had these dreams like to go further, and I thought like America would be like, I never ever thought of Europe. And then anyway, so I made all that money, and I just thought like, this is how I'm going to start, like this, I'm going to go to the next step. I want to travel, like I've saved a bit of money, I want to go to like Vietnam, or I want to go to like, I don't know, Bali, or I want to go to Thailand, like I want to travel more. And I think that's when like, I also was trying to like climb up that corporate ladder, because that's also like where I wanted to go. I wanted to climb up the corporate ladder, make shitloads of money, and then start my business. Like that's just, I had this plan and I had it planned out, and this is just where I wanted to go. When I met my partner, I think he kind of changed my mindset of like traveling. And I think because you would meet a lot of backpackers and you would see what they would be doing, but you would never really like know like, how do these people like travel around, like actually travel, like, and I'm talking about backpacker travel. And I never kind of had that idea, like, because I don't think I really engaged with foreigners. Like I didn't engage with foreigners in New Zealand, and I didn't really engage with foreigners like in Australia besides from work. And I would never like kind of get involved in like what they were doing or how they were traveling and stuff. And I just thought like, yeah, that's them. They've got rich parents. They're rich, you know, they've got people who look after them. When actually it's completely different. And this is where the kind of mindset of where I started also getting involved in with how you can actually travel with backpacker style, work and travel, all the opportunities that are actually open to you right now. And my partner helped me to see that, and also my friends that I still have now helped me to see that, how they were living and what they were doing. These people like were broke as hell, like they were so broke, and I don't really think they asked their parents for any money. Like I know Busty really didn't. Busty, like, which is my partner, he came from Germany and flew all the way when he was 18 and flew all the way to Australia with only 2,000 euros. And he had a working holiday visa, and his mindset that you travel, you get all your travel insurance and you pay for your ticket, and you don't need much money because you know that you're going to go there straight away and you're going to work. And I thought like, I thought it was crazy. I was like, you know, like, are you like all there, you know, like is your family okay? Like my mom would never send me like as an 18-year-old to go all the way on the other side of the world just with 2,000 euros and then just kind of hope for a job. But this kid and so many other people from countries all over the world do that, literally. And I would say 2,000 euros is not a lot, but he planned that for 2 weeks or something, that, you know, just a safety barrier, like 2,000 was a lot for him, because he had planned that he would come to Australia and get a job straight away, which he did, and he did start to make money. And then he just like, when I talked to him about this, he was like, no, like as soon as I got into Australia I started looking, and he literally planned like 2,000 euros, his travel insurance, his flight, come over, and then he would just get a job straight away. And he did. He got a job straight away, and he started earning money. And if that job didn't work out, he went to another place and got a job. And he was broke at some stages, and like broke. But he really, like, that's the life that you can do as well, like, which is backpacker traveling, which we're going to get into now. So backpacker traveling is a different type of traveling, and when you live that backpacker lifestyle, you are going to hostels, you are hitchhiking, you are, I don't know, like just getting with friends, taking blah car, like going to hostels and, you know, planning your transportation, like doing everything cheap. You are literally traveling the cheapest way that you can. You are eating noodles or pasta or just really cheap foods to help you get by, water. You're not spending large amounts on clothes, you're not spending large amounts on nights out, you're buying cheap alcohol. Like, that's also a different kind of lifestyle and a different kind of traveling that you can do. And I've also done this traveling. And so with this traveling, it is very, very easy for anyone to do. One, you're generally broke already. Two, basically the needs of doing it is to get a visa first, then get your travel insurance if you need it for your visa, and then you are just going to apply for all your, like, for any job, whether it's farm work, which is actually fun, you know, like, be careful with which farms you go to, but farm work. So if you're picking grapes, or if you're, I don't know, picking watermelons or picking squash or whatever, it's, you know, you at least you're just getting a bit of money. You're only going to be there for a few months and then you move on. This is a kind of different traveling that a lot of people do, and it's very accessible and it's very easy for anyone to do. Even if you're from New Zealand, even if you're from Australia, you can do this. Europeans do it all the time, Americans do it all the time, Canadians do it all the time. It's a very easy way to travel. So as I would say, like, the first kind of steps you would do is kind of just have an idea of which country you want to go to. So let's just, for an example, let's just say you want to travel from New Zealand. You would pick Australia for your first kind of, like, start with something small, pick Australia for your first kind of things, and get used to, like, traveling. This would be how you would first start to travel and get introduced into it. Then you would do is you would you don't need a visa, you know, that's also an amazing thing. You're in luck there. Like, a lot of people would crave to not have to go to Australia and get a visa, because Australia is apparently like paradise, which I can see. I love Australia, and for me it's also paradise. And you would go there and literally just live the backpacker life, like, travel for a bit. You don't have to come to Australia, you don't have to travel in your country and, like, have everything sorted out and get a house and get a car and, you know, have flash things. You don't have to do that. Like, if you want to travel and you want to see everything and you want to be in these communities, which there are so many communities, it is amazing. It is really amazing. Like, I'm gonna do it again because I love it. And it's the communities and the people that you meet within those kind of lifestyles, very different, very eye-opening, and very, like, just something else. Like, you don't learn this kind of experience in school. You will never learn it in any university. This is something you have to do yourself. So let's just say you travel from New Zealand. You want to do your first kind of backpack experience. Look up travel insurance if you need it. I actually don't think in Australia you don't need it. I have a Medicard. Pretty sure you could get a Medicare card as well. Let's just say you take 2,000 New Zealand dollars. That should be 3 months of work in New Zealand. You can even go lower, 1,000, 1,500. That's okay. Take it with you, go over to Australia. When you get to Australia, start looking for jobs. And I'm not talking about jobs in retail, I'm not talking about jobs in, like, this and this. I mean, you can, if you've got experience, go for it. But with the backpacker lifestyle, the idea is to pick any job, and any job that will give you a few months. Say, like, look for a job that you can do for, like, 3 months or 4 months. Say farm work, which is also pretty good. I mean, Australia has a really good, like, economy. So you generally make at least, $800 to $1,000 a week when you go there. So you can do that through farm work, you can do that through construction, you can do that through McDonald's. You can do that through fundraising, anything. Like, just take, and it's very easy to get. If foreigners can come all the way from Europe or America or somewhere with 1,000, 2,000 euros, I'm pretty sure New Zealanders can. One, because we know people, so we can go back if we're not feeling safe. We can go to a person's house that we know if we're not feeling safe. And two, we're not so far from home. So go there, look for a farm job, get your ass there, and literally just work for 1, 2, or 3 months. Just work for 3 months there and enjoy yourself. Go through that community. like engage with the people and like ask them how they're doing their travels. You never know, you might meet people that you will travel, because this is what a lot of those communities do. When you're backpacking and you're in that backpacker community, you're traveling with those backpackers. You meet people and you would just go with them, and they would take you everywhere. You would just go with them, then you'll meet another person, you would go with that person to this place, you would meet another person, you go with this person to that place. You never know, you could end up in Bali or Thailand or something. Just get in those communities and start figuring out for yourself how you can kind of keep your traveling, or you know, go further with your travel. So if you were to travel for 3 months there and you're making a bit of money, I would say, like, if you're making 900,000 or something for farm work, or even more. If it's less, then you would have to like wait and maybe like stay for a little bit, or change a job and get something else, to another farm, or go do construction in a town, or go do an office job in a town, something that kind of help you. And just aim for 3 months of work. Just aim for 3 months of work, saving, and then moving on. So with that, if you're generally working around 3 months in Australia, let's just say you're earning like 900 or something for 3 months, you would end up with 2,400 or something like that. Then what you could do is you could even just go over to Asia with that. From Australia to go over to Indonesia or Asia or Southeast Asia would be really cheap. 2,000, you can live pretty good. And then you've got your next one to go to. Then when you're there, you can even think about applying for a visa and maybe working there. I know that Asia, you can also get a lot of teaching English jobs, so you could get maybe a small job there. I know in Vietnam you can teach English for like 20 something an hour. Then you could work there for 3 months. And then you're just saving a lot because that place is so cheap. And then so imagine if you're working on 20 an hour, I don't know, I'm not sure, let's just say you're earning 1,500 and you work for 3 months. Then you make your next trip. Then you go over to Europe and then you go there. Let's say you want to get another visa, so then you go to Berlin, or you go to Germany, or you look up a country where you can get a 1-year visa. If you go for a visa in Germany, costs about what, 200, 300, you've got that money from Vietnam, and now you're in Germany, so then you can pay for your visa. You start looking for small places, like maybe a small apartment that could, you know, save a bit of money, or you can stay in a hostel for a little bit. And then once you've got your visa, you can start working, so look for a small job. Or even go to Spain, get a visa for Spain, or, you know, plan ahead, do something like that. There's countries in Europe where you can get a visa, and you can like in that country while you're there. You can do a lot of things. It's very simple. Like, that could be your first move. Start from New Zealand, work for 3 months. If you're just saving 200, which by the way, like, I know that you've got your expenses, so that's why I said if you're working for 3 months and you're averaging about 900, if you're saving like 200 at least every single week for 3 months, that's 2,400. So you can do it. So when I was saying that, I was already calculating for your expenses and stuff. So, you know, small steps like that. Start from New Zealand, go to Australia, work for 3 months, go to Vietnam, work for 3 months, go to anywhere in Asia, work for 3 months, go to Europe, work for 3 months, carry on going, come back, go to Australia again, work for 3 months. I don't know, you know. It's really simple and it's very fucking easy, and you don't need a lot of money. You really don't. It is very simple. There's been countless of times where I've you know, completely ran out of money, and I can get a job in, you know, Spain. I can get a job in here if I have the visa. And last time I was traveling, like, now I have a visa for Spain. There's so many options for me to get a job. Like, so many options for me. There's so many options for everyone. You can work every single where you go, and you don't have to like search before you get to that country. You can literally go there, find work straight away. You meet people. Very simple. There's always people who are looking for workers. So that's backpacker traveling. And if you have any questions, DM me. Questions like, to be answered on your visa, where to go to, like blah 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 blah. If you want me to help budget, I will help you budget, because I'm like a pro budgeter now. I love it. So just DM me if you've got like a budget and you don't know like where to start and where to save and how much to save and stuff. Let me know, and I will definitely help you. So that's backpacker lifestyle. Now you have travel visas. With these ones, you can go to like a place where you do like a work contract. I don't know much on it, because I've never really done it. Like, when I generally only talk about things that I've done. I don't really like talk on that topic like I know it. But travel visas, I think that's like a more safer thing. I think that's what a lot of people also do. So it's where you go through companies also, and you look before you go to that country, and you try and look for like, if you apply for that job, so whether it's like teaching English abroad, or I don't know, au pair abroad, or maybe volunteering abroad, or going with a travel agency somewhere. That is also very possible, and it's also very simple. There's a lot of companies online that you can look into that help you, and they even help you with your visas. I think you have to pay a little bit, but if you're paying like 1,000 or something for it, and they cover like your accommodation, your travel insurance, and they help you with your visa, I think that's pretty much worth it. So you can also do that. That's a safer option, and there's loads of ways that you can do that. So that is also a very, very easy way that you could do it. And you also don't need so much money for that as well, because you can go over there and you're working, you're already set, you've already got your contracts, you're making money, and then, you know, you can save your money and then start doing something else. So that's another way. I'm not going to talk so much on that because I don't know what it's like. I've never really done it, and I don't really want to talk on something that I've never done. And then there's vacations. I think this is what people generally think. Like, a lot of people also think what traveling is about, and like that you need like $5,000, $10,000 to do. For a vacation, yes, you need quite a bit of money. Not $10,000 though, I would say. I mean, my partner and I went to Portugal. I think we spent like, this is us splurging, I would say 2,600 euros max. That's what we spent on everything, the whole trip. And this wasn't that one that we went to like just recently. This was the one way before, because the one that we went to just recently, we still budgeted just because I really like budgeting. I like being savvy. I love it. Cheap is good. Cheap is really good. I love that. So yeah, and vacations are very different. Vacations are like, they don't have to be very exy. Like in New Zealand, you can also go to like South Island. I just seen a flight now actually to South Island for $79, and you could probably stay in a cheap motel or something, or stay in a cheap, like, accommodation isn't everything. Vacation, you can either make it cheap, you can make it middle, or you can make it expensive. And my mum always used to do vacations with us, like small trips and stuff, with me and my cousins and my brother, and she would make them work out really well. And like, she's definitely not wealthy, but she is like, she just made everything as great as possible. You know, she would save for 3 months or 4 months and then do a trip with us, and it would work out pretty good. We didn't have the flash of everything, but it was a pretty good trip. So yeah. And so vacationing is pretty straightforward. I think everyone kind of knows that, but like I said, it doesn't have to be expensive. And, you know, like I said, there's different kinds of traveling. I'm pretty sure there's probably another type of traveling, but those are the main ones. So backpacker lifestyle, that's more the main travel that I kind of do, that a lot of people here in Europe do. We all do it. It's like a normal thing here to more or less do backpacker travel lifestyle. Unless you're kind of like, you know, unless you've got a good job already and you're just traveling through, then a lot of people do vacations and stay in hotels and stuff. But backpacker lifestyle is definitely the one that you want to start like doing when you want to start out your travels. That's the first one that you want to kind of like get into and get the hang of, and get inside those travel communities and stuff, and
get the rhythms and get your kind of like, you know, your first kind of like wits about and stuff. Because once you first do it, like the whole world is yours. You can go anywhere and use that lifestyle and use those hacks and those tricks and those budgeting tips and everything, and then next minute you're just living all around the world, like really, really cheap, and then you have people asking you like, what are you doing, what are you doing? And it just becomes really, really simple. So yeah, I didn't really go much into detail of like how I kind of like live, or how I kind of, because I think that's a bit different. Like I kind of want to just get you in that kind of notion of where you feel like you know where to start, and where you feel like that, where you know that you don't have to have a lot of money, that you could just have 2,000 something and you can start and you can go over. You can pay for your fly and you can do this and do that, and then you just take one step at a time, go from this country, do whatever you want to do, you know, work for 3 months or work even more. You can work for a year or 2 years, go to the next country, work for a few months, you know, go to the next country, and you're just hopping. You really are just hopping, and it's really, really simple. It's really simple, and it's so much fun, and it's a complete adventure within itself. So I hope that helps a lot of yous out as much as possible. If I know that there's like because this is kind of like a little bit like, I know that a lot of my friends like from New Zealand and stuff like have kids, and they still wonder like, how can I travel and how can I do this? With kids it would be a little bit different. You would need a lot more money, but yeah, that can be another topic, because I definitely have a lot of experience in living in countries and how I can get from that country to another country. The thing is I just don't have kids, so I wouldn't really know kind of like how that would work, and I wouldn't really want to speak on it if I don't know. But yeah, so this kind of does privilege a lot of people that don't have kids, but don't let that kind of like stop you. I definitely know and have met a lot of people on the road that do have kids and do travel with their kids and are able to make it work. And you know, so please don't let that discourage you. Just because you have kids, you're not handicapped. You know, you can still do the same things or do fun things that you may like to do, or things that you want to do that you think you can't, you can still do them. And yeah, so I think that's kind of it. I hope that's kind of like enough information to help you out. And if you have any questions, you can always DM me. I'm always open, and I'd love to answer anyone's questions and help anyone get on the road. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to know anything more, please let me know, just comment. I'm gonna do more vids about this actually, and I'm gonna do another vid about like moving to places, and like how do you move over to a place and how do you settle yourself and blah blah blah. I'm gonna do more vids, so yeah.